This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Trade.
Agata, what a start he's had. Agata stole it at halfway and lays it up. Agata once again finds himself available to take the rebound. That's his 8th and takes it coast to coast and scores. Tough finish, Agata. Agata from outside, got it. Agata is having a fantastic evening, 16 points. Bruce drives, Agata blocks the shot. He's done everything else today.
Oh my, dearie me. Dean Bickerman giving Agata all sorts of green light.
Tough finish, Agata over the top, Maker.
He's a different player, he really is.
13 rebounds and 4 blocks, 4 steals to go with 24 points for Caleb Agata.
Wow, that's a very good afternoon's work.
I love it here. Everything's really, really good. I'm comfortable, I'm happy, and we're winning games, so that's all that matters.
One of the big questions coming into the Hungry Jacks NBL season would how would Melbourne defend their title with a brand new roster? Well, on the back of Caleb Agata and some confidence about the way they're going about their business, I think we've got our answer. They are going to be one of the teams to beat again. They travel to Tasmania today at MyState Bank Arena to take on the JackJumpers, who have won their last 2 games at home, and they themselves are building a bit of confidence. Hello and welcome to New Year's Day basketball as the JackJumpers and Melbourne United go head-to-head. Jack Heverin joined in commentary by Liam Santamaria. Happy New Year, my man.
Thanks, Jack. Happy New Year to you, and this should be a good one. New Year's Day basketball, the JackJumpers, they looked really good last week. Good win over New Zealand. As you say, they've been tough to beat at home. You know, miss Will Magnay today. Other guys will need to step up, and for Melbourne United, you're right, 3-game winning streak, feeling really good about things, defending at a super high level. And those guys, Caleb Agata, Chris Golding, shooting the heck out of the ball.
Well, their DoorDash starting 5 looks a strong one. 25% off your first order, over $20. You can use the code COUNTDOWN.
Dellavedova at the point guard spot, Agata and Golding, as we mentioned, on the wings. Dave Barlow in the starting lineup at the 4 spot. Joe Luala-Chul, geez, with no Will Magnay out there, he's a chance to have a big impact today.
A couple of Melbourne's bench players not suiting up today due to COVID protocols. Chris Golding is suiting up, though. Wasn't there for the start of the season, and it's no coincidence, Liam, that as Melbourne are starting to build their form, Chris Golding's been available.
Yeah, 3 and zip with Golding in the lineup. 31 points to reach 5,000 in his career. Second in points scored by active players behind Daniel Johnson, and a couple of other records just at his fingertips as well. And just playing at a really high level, shooting the rock. He's getting 12 3-point shots up a game, knocking down a bunch of them and playing really well.
His impact's been a big one, and earlier today Anthony Stewart caught up with Dean Bickerman and started by asking him about what it's like having CG43 available.
Yeah, great having CG and Jack White back in the lineup. Trying to get CG as many quality shots as we can right now, and space is the floor for us, and it's allowing Caleb and other guys to score as well.
Yeah, certainly has. How do you feel coming in against this Tasmanian group? Obviously, Coach Ross been big on defending the island.
Yeah, and obviously with Magnay not playing, it changes their coverages a little bit, and so we expect them to be fairly aggressive at times and switching a fair bit as well. But Scott's done a great job, having this team be really strong defensively, and we expect to see it again tonight.
Thanks, Dean. Look forward to seeing how this one goes.
Cheers.
We highlighted Caleb Agata off the top this afternoon, Liam, and with good reason as well, because the numbers that he is starting to put together are significant.
Yeah, he's rolling right now. 3 games in a row with 20 points or more, all at over 50%. And geez, last time out against Sydney, he just filled the box score. 24 at a high percentage, 14 rebounds from the 2 spot is ridiculous. 4 steals, 3 blocks, a couple of dimes to go along with it. He was just super active. Found a real comfort zone within this Melbourne squad, and Dean Bickerman loves the fact that he's a 2-way guy. Oh, geez, flat tire in transition. There, watch the left leg just kind of buckled as he tried to rise up, but he came good. Continued to stay on attack And he just hurt Sydney in so many ways. In defensively with his activity, ability to get out in transition. He's a big reason why they lead the league in pace after the first month of the season. And he's knocking it down at a high rate, 10 of 19 from 3 over his last 3 games.
For the Tasmania JackJumpers, the news is not good for them as far as COVID protocols. Will Magnay not playing today. Jock Perry also not suiting up. So we look at their DoorDash starting 5, Liam. The obvious statement, they're small.
Well, the first 4 have been in the lineup. Adams, Majette, McDaniel, McVeigh. Jared Bairstow comes in at the centre spot. He's going to need to be physical with Joe Luala-Chul inside.
Melbourne's last 3 games have been an average winning margin of 26 points. They are starting to really click into gear in the Hungry Jacks NBL. And they'll control the tip. The 6th time in our history that we're playing on New Year's Day, and in all games, the home team have been the winners. So there's a good omen for the JackJumpers coming into today. Agata from the corner. He's shooting the lights out as we highlighted. That's a good start.
Feeling good. Good set from Melbourne. Had a look at a couple of options. Joe Luala-Chul in the middle, and then Agata sticks the mid-range.
Sam McDaniel against his former team. That looks good.
Nice start from McDaniel. You're right, won a championship with Melbourne last season, and he's playing at a high level as well. Good game last week against New Zealand's at both ends of the floor.
Agata aggressive, a little too aggressive perhaps. He called for the offensive foul. Jared Bairstow into the starting lineup tonight. Before today, his last 3 games have been 3 minutes 45, did not play, coach's decision, and 5 minutes 18. So he's going to be relied upon today to play some big minutes.
Well, they signed him to a 3-year deal in the off-season, so this is a chance for him to come out and say, it's just what you brought me in for. Offensive foul call down the other end as Chris Goulding takes that hit down the numbers.
Just the 1 game in round 5 so far. Last night, the Perth Wildcats defeating the Cairns Taipans 84-78. Agata found a path to the basket. It was a little too easy. Another sellout crowd at MyState Bank Arena. It's been the way for JackJumpers home games since they've joined the Hungry Jacks NBL. And Dellavedova pushing the ball up the floor. As Luala-Chul is happy to fire away from deep. And why not? Shooting at 66% from outside this season.
Just stepped into it with confidence too, didn't he? Daly, his head's on a swivel in transition, drops it off to the trail big.
He's more selective with that 3 ball this season, Joe Luala-Chul, perhaps than previous, but we know that he can nail it. Good start by Josh Adams.
It's good action from Tassie. This Melbourne defense can be tough to penetrate, so punish the overplay there. Backdoor cut for Adams, pull-up jumper.
It's catch and take from Luala-Chul, and that is going to be a big problem all afternoon for the JackJumpers.
Yeah, his length and size inside. Will Magnay would have been able to contest that action. They're going to need to keep them out of the lane without him to rim protect.
It's McDaniel on the drive, took the contact, played through it. He lays it up, brings it back to a 3-point game. Bairstow reaching in. He's called for the foul. Let's check in with Anthony Stewart for the first time this afternoon. Stewie, great to have you.
Yeah, good to be here once again.
Tell us about this lineup today for the JackJumpers, obviously with Will Magnay. To your eye, how did the Tassie boys get a result here?
Yeah, I think for me, small ball's not that bad as long as they can move the ball, which they did really well last week and really attack from the perimeter. Obviously, they're going to have to be really disruptive up the floor, but I actually like it. I don't mind it. I think Melbourne United won't be used to this style of play.
Thank you, Stewie. Touch base across the afternoon. Majette got into the paint, had to change the shot because of the presence of Luala-Chul. McVeigh, ball moves to McDaniel, unsuccessful. Goulding dragged the rebound down with one arm, took it to the other end, and drains the 3 with a hand in the face.
That's beautiful. from Chris Golding. The confidence in transition there. He had the cross match with Bairstow and just pulled up and drilled it from way downtown.
20 points on 5 of 15 against Sydney on Boxing Day. He's always been a confidence player, Chris Golding, but this is a whole new level of confidence that we're seeing this season.
This is his first game in the NBL in Tasmania. Yeah. He's a guy born down there in the Apple Isle, went to Launceston Primary while his old man was doing great things on the football field. I think he grew up in Tassie until he was about 8 before heading elsewhere. So, and the one time Melbourne United have played down there in the Blitz last year, he was sitting out with a calf injury. So, first time out there in Tassie. Josh Majette draws the foul there on Dellavedova. Knocks an early one down from long range.
Majette will get to the free throw line. Let's go back to Josh Adams and his game on Boxing Day, Liam. 21 points, but the important stat for you that day was the amount of free throw attempts that he had.
Yeah, and you could just see, not just in the numbers, but in the way he was in attack mode in the half court. Majette knocks down that first free throw. Scott Roth's been making a real point with their offense to penetrate more, be on in attack, put some heat on the rim, and he needs Majette and Adams to lead the way in that regard. They've both been hoisting a whole bunch of threes, and the balance was much better that last time out. And here's that pressure Stewie was talking about, forces the turnover.
The 3 ball didn't count for Adams, but a turnover forced will be a win in the eyes of JackJumpers coach Scott Roth. Wallachul back to the basket. Lost the handle. Bairstow stood his ground. Majette surveying his options up ahead. McDaniel up against Illy. Fouled. Doesn't get it to go. The JackJumpers are back on the free throw line.
And again, I like the decision making there from Tassie. Josh Adams, but there was the temptation to hoist it, turn that shot down, and then McDaniel, aggressive, puts it on the deck, gets into the lane, little shot fake, gets Illy off the floor. Now they get a chance at the free throw line.
Played the first 69 games of his NBL career at Melbourne United. Sam McDaniel, part of their title team last season. Started in 24 of their 38 games. He's finding himself a nice role with the JackJumpers. That was 1 of 2. Tassie get another look at it. Majette pulls up for 3. It goes. It was in, it was out, and then it was back in.
And he'll make you pay there. Josh Majette from long range if you sit off him, and good screen from Krislovic. Help D wasn't on the money. Open look.
He's finished Wallachul, and it breaks a run of 6 straight points for Tasmania. That's going to be their bailout, isn't it?
Well, they're wise to make a focus of Wallachul down low. We saw in the pre-season, McDaniel rises up, can't hit that one. We saw when Melbourne played against New Zealand, they didn't have their primary centre in the lineup. Yanni Wetzel sat out. Joel Wallachul went off. Put up, was it a 40-piece?
Yeah, it was.
So they'd be looking at this situation with no Will Magnay out there as not too dissimilar. There's no real matchup for him down low.
That's Kyle McIntosh onto the floor. Opens his account pretty quickly. Averaging 5.5 points across the season, the Canadian, Kyle McIntosh. Tick under 3 rebounds as well. Foul trouble's been his biggest issue so far.
Well, he's had a few issues, to be honest. Hasn't been producing anywhere near what Scott Roth felt he was capable of when he brought him in, and anywhere near what he would want to be putting out there. 5 points a game, as you say, 31% from the field, just 11% from long range. So that first knockdown pull-up jumper will feel good for McIntosh.
Does that put him under pressure, perhaps?
I think so. They'll be looking for him to lift his production, for sure.
Here he is trying to be aggressive on White. Rebound by Ariel Hookporty. Runs the floor, as does Jack White at the other end. Not the cleanest passage of play we'll see this afternoon, and it's going to end up being a JackJumpers ball.
Good effort in defensive transition by Tassie. Getting back, loading up the painted area. It was a Daly trying to thread the needle there to Jack White, but there were a whole bunch of green jerseys in front of him. And the ball goes the other way.
Golding comes out of the game. Brad Newley checking in. Only 5.5 minutes against the Sydney Kings on Boxing Day. In his first 3 games of the season, averaged 24 minutes a game. Last 2, 6.5. Maybe looking to get his spot back in the rotation. Krislovic couldn't finish off. White jarred it free for Illy. Dellavedova wants to get Hook Porty involved. He's a long way from the basket, the big man. It's knocked out of play.
Well, that's the key point, Jack, how far he was when he caught it, because that was a really good effort from Krislovic down low. Hook Porty being really physical, fighting for position, but Krislovic made him catch that post up at the three-point line.
Melbourne inbound, 3.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. The lob for White was ambitious. He's saying that his run was checked and the officials agreed.
Well, they've got a couple of different lob plays.
He was a control
they go to
towards the basket.
Melbourne United, baseline out of
green
bounds.
Okay.
You see Jack White coming off that screen. And McIntosh, eyes for the ball, left hand got involved with, left forearm got involved with Jack White. Didn't have it. Melbourne will take it on the baseline.
Back to where we started. Hook Porty trying to put the ball on the floor and get himself all the way into the paint. Good agility for a 7-footer.
Well, he sat there on the bench the first few minutes watching and seeing the lack of rim protection out there for Tassie. We've spoken about it, no Will Magnay, and I think he's sitting there watching Joe Luala-Chul get buckets, thinking, you know what, I'm going to be aggressive when my number gets called.
Had 8 rebounds last Sunday. 19 years of age, using this season as part of preparation for next year's NBA draft. One of a host of next stars here in the Hungry Jacks NBL whose stocks are rising based on what they're doing out on the floor. United lead it by 4. Jared Weeks into the game. Couldn't get his 3 away. Nice pass, though, for Fabian Krislovic.
Beautiful pass. Good execution from Tasmania. And Weeks, silver service for Krislovic.
Melbourne trying to lift the tempo at the other end. Krislovic reaching in. It's been called for the foul. Is it offensively, Liam, is it starting to come together a little more for the JackJumpers? They were pretty wild and pretty free in the first 2 or 3 rounds, but the last couple of weeks we've seen them really get into their stuff a lot more.
Yeah, and it's a credit to them. Scott Roth's been really open and honest about saying, look, our offense is behind our defense. We spent a lot of time focusing on what kind of defensive team we would be right out of the gate in pre-season, and they've been really effective at that end of the floor. They're 5th in the league in defensive efficiency, which for an expansion team is a really good result. Great foundation to establish. 9th in offensive efficiency, but over the last few games, a bit better execution, a bit better decision making, playing with a little bit of a better tempo, ticking the scoreboard over.
Scott Roth spoke about that during the week, said we're a work in progress. We're not going to be finished for years, but we're trying to build the foundations first, and then the other layers can come from that. Steindl working hard off the ball to get open. Was fouled in the action of shooting a 3-ball.
And this is what they do so beautifully well with Clint Steindl. Amazingly, look, he just came off the bench a couple of possessions ago. Only plays 3.5 probably minutes per first quarter each game. And yet he's in the top 10 in the league for first quarter scoring, averaging a tick over 5 points per first term, because when he comes off the bench, they immediately run some sets for him. Scott Roth learned that was what you need to do with Clint Steindl when he spent time under Trevor Gleeson in that Perth Wildcats system. And as he's brought him down into Tassie, executed that same kind of strategy, And it's working well for Steindl, who is 7 of 11 from 3 over his last 2 games.
Captain this season and leading the JackJumpers so well. Misses the second. Just mentioned Scott Roth, the JackJumpers coach, Liam. Shout out to him. He's been away from home for a very long time, been separated from his partner for a very long time. Isolation is now done and they can be back together again.
Yeah, how good. Yeah, it's been 14 months apart for Scott Roth and his wife, but she's just recently been able to make her way over, went through Sydney, made her way down to Tassie, a little bit of home quarantine, and now out and about, reunited. And he said it's been a big mental relief for him.
It's work there by McIntosh to get out in front of that pass intended for Hook Porty on the low block. Oh, Adams crossing over Peatling, then drives and scores over the top of Hook Porty.
There it is. That's the explosion we talk about. The handle, yes, but the ability then to hang in the air, take the contact, and finish off the glass.
And the JackJumpers lead it as we tick down to 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Peatling for 3, yes. Shooting it beyond 50% from outside this season, Mason Peatling. That lead was only a short-term one. JackJumpers' next foul will send Melbourne to the free throw line. Melbourne already over the limit for this first quarter. Hook Porty, nice look for Newley. It'll be a Melbourne ball from the baseline.
Well, those shots are going to be open. Guys like Peatling, Newley, Dellavedova, when he's out there, he's just checking back into the game right now. As the JackJumpers, really aggressive coverage on the pick and roll. Then they're going to load up the middle to help out on the roll man. Those guys in the corner are going to be open. Peatling knocked down the one on the previous possession. Newley wide open right there, and it was off the rim.
Second in the competition, a 3-point shooting percentage, Melbourne. So they are the sort of team that can make you pay.
Well, the key, though, is to keep it out of Chris Golding's hand. Keep it out of Caleb Agada's hand. Make other guys shoot it.
Chul's foul. And that will be Bairstow's second. So just something for Scott Roth to think about. With real lack of bigs this afternoon.
Geez, there wasn't a lot in it. Just leant forward with his chest momentarily there. So he's got to come out of the game. There you'll see his check out. Krizlovic, I suspect, will be coming in. They're going to need him. He's not going to light the scoreboard up today, Jared Bairstow, but as they try to hang with Melbourne and bring some physicality defensively, he's going to be important.
So a minute 16 remaining in the opening quarter. Tasmania had the lead, albeit for a very short time, but find themselves down 2. The back end of the first quarter, and Scott Roth's going to challenge this call. It's an important one in terms of Bairstow and the foul count today. Your first glance, and now we're looking at what the replay centre are looking at.
Yeah, I felt like in live action he did lean forward a little bit with his chest, but he didn't, really. Lualachul loses his footing, and it's Lualachul really, I think,
left arm
initiating the contact. I reckon there's a strong chance that'll be successful. They'll keep Bairstow just on 1 foul if it is. They'll keep their coach's challenge.
Each coach gets 1 coach's challenge per game that they can use at any time. If successful, you keep it. Unsuccessful, you lose it.
Unsuccessful.
Wow.
Wow.
Blocking foul in the call stands. JackJumpers lose their timeout. We are shooting bonus for Melbourne.
There you go. It's a surprise to me.
It was worth a look.
Well, yeah, geez, not much contact. His left hip, we're told, just a little bit of contact. They're not happy with the call at all here. Look at his left hip here, Bairstow. That's the word from the replay centre.
Don't you have to at least tell me what happened, right?
Not a lot in it.
We've lost the challenge. Coach's challenge is unsuccessful.
No one,
well, we're shooting 2 shots. Scott, we're shooting 2 shots. Clearly it's unsuccessful.
That was Scott Roth's first coaching challenge as well. It's taken 5 rounds. Malachul misses the first. And misses the second. So that means free burgers, courtesy of our great friends at Hungry Jack's. For Tassie basketball fans, the code word is jersey. If you call in, tell them Joe sent you. Adams, mid-range two, knocks it down. He looks like a man on a mission today.
He's in rhythm, isn't he? Pull-up jumper there, snake the ball screen. He looks good in this opening term.
6 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Dellavedova forced into a tough one. Here he is again, getting inside, lays it up with the left hand. Points count, one to come.
Love it, good attack from Josh Adams. Again, he had a little look at the three and he turned it down. Got the step on the defense, wrote a little contact early, the hand check there from Newley, and then got all the way to the rim. And he just has that athleticism to be able to finish through the contact at the rim. It's been a really impressive first quarter from Josh Adams.
One shot.
15, 20, and 21 are his 3 contributions of home games at MyState Bank Arena. On the road, not as strong. 9, 9, and 15, so clearly loves the rims. At the nest. It's the nest, isn't it? We're sticking with the nest?
I think apparently it's the nest.
Yep.
I quite like the anthill.
Yeah. Thought there was some merit in the anthill.
Apparently we've landed at the nest.
We certainly tried. Golding kicks it out. Malachul in the keyway for too long. Tassie have scored the last 5 points in the game and have got a chance to finish the first quarter with another bucket.
And their defense holds up. Late in the shot clock for Melbourne United, thanks to some pressure up the floor, just eating away at a little bit of clock. They get the last look at it for the quarter-time buzzer.
Leggett for 3. That's deep. Rebound, Kenyon. Popped up out of nowhere and scores on the buzzer. The JackJumpers continue their good first quarter form. And they lead at quarter time, 25-22 at MyState Bank Arena. You're watching a Hungry Jacks NBL on Boxing Day. It was a strong finish to the first quarter for the Tasmania JackJumpers at home once again today at MyState Bank Arena. They scored the last 7 points of the opening quarter, and that gives them a 5-point lead after one, 27-22 And they're giving the reigning premiers something to think about. The winner of our Kmart gift card for today is Natasha Strawman. Our family loves going to shoot some hoops out on the front lawn or in the front yard where the neighbours get in on the action too. That kind of reminds me a lot of your childhood, Liam Santamaria, dragging in all the neighbours and you getting buckets over the top of them.
Oh, well, we just took care of it. I had the two older brothers, so it was a constant battle. Getting my shot blocked. Nothing really changed over the journey, to be honest.
Offensive rebound by Kenyon. That last play of the first quarter. We're going to have a look at the shot clock here, which hasn't reset. Matt Kenyon, it's as if Melbourne didn't even know that he was on the floor.
Yeah, missed block out. They lead the league in defensive rebounding percentage, Melbourne, because they block out, but Peatling leaves Kenyon to help out on Mikhail McIntosh, and Matt Kenyon strolls right into the putback.
Sold out crowd at MyState Bank Arena. You're seeing their team play some really good basketball, and this man, Adams, is leading the way. Not that time, though. McIntosh couldn't drag in the offensive rebound.
Good by McIntosh, though. They need that from him. Needs to make a nuisance of himself on the offensive glass.
Let's get courtside to Anthony Stewart.
Yeah, guys, Dean was pretty animated. We spoke about it before the game. He really thinks they're struggling up the floor with the defensive pressure of the JackJumpers. He wants shorter passes, more ball movement, and be patient in offense.
There's that disruption that you've been talking about, Stewie. Results in another turnover, but Joe Lawala-Chul blocked the shot. Adams was riding shotgun. JackJumpers are rolling. 29-22. Adams with 11 points on 5 of 8. The Garter, tough three.
That is tough. Good contest there from Matt Kenyon. Sometimes you've just got to tip your hat. Contested 3-ball off the bounce. Good hit. Let's go down the other end.
He's Melbourne's equal leading scorer with 7 points. 2 off the window for McIntosh. They've had no issues starting games, Tasmania. Their last 2 games, Illy has to give up his look. Agata, same spot. Misses that time. Last 2 first halves, they've had 48 against Sydney and 50 against New Zealand. It's been the way that they've come out after the main break, though.
That'll be definitely a focus for them today, but it's all about the right here, right now. They've started this second quarter nicely. Good finish to the first. Got down, what was it, 5 or so in that first quarter, worked their way back, and then a little bucket on the quarter-time buzzer. And I like the way they've started this second quarter. That pressure's still up the floor, fighting over ball screens, forcing a couple of turnovers on Melbourne United, and then continuing to attack McIntosh, drawing fouls off to the stripe.
And if you're going to get Melbourne United, this is the quarter to do it. They're second last in the competition, Melbourne, in points scored in Q2. It's only 17 a quarter. Every other quarter, they're top 3. But for some reason, the second quarters haven't been overly strong so far in the Hungry Jacks NBL. McIntosh has 5 points. Illy doubled up. Majet stole it away. McIntosh there with him. Went up for the stuff. Fell a little short, but Steindl sitting on the wing waiting to bury the 3. Dean Vickerman has seen enough. The energy is high, the intent is high, and the scoreboard is in Tasmania's favour right now.
Look at the aggressive pick-and-roll coverage. Mikhail McIntosh, hard show there on Shea Illy. The deflection, the turnover, and then they're out in transition. So Tassie's defense really igniting their offense, out by double digits.
You were supposed to be the ones getting over boards. We're getting fucking smashed on the over boards right now. Their effort level's way more than us, all right? Take care of the basketball. Let's go back to spin space right now. You're trying to run sets. You're getting pushed out of everything. Go ahead and look to get downhill and then get to some late on ball.
So Joe is wide open if you just go to the rim fast.
So here, if you're in zooms right now, or if you're in head taps, first zoom that we go right now. Let's go to double drag though. Barlow space, your hard dive. We got good spacing on that one. All right.
It's a 10-point lead for the JackJumpers. Midway through the second quarter, in the last 8 minutes of the game, it's been Tasmania 23-8.
Their game plan just working perfectly. They want to get up the floor, put some pressure defensively, not always to force a turnover, but to eat time off the clock and just build that feeling of pressure amongst the Melbourne players. And then in the half court, they're aggressive, showing hard, active hands, and then good shot selection down the other end. It's all worked beautifully for Scott Roth so far.
Barlow. You heard in the timeout, they said, Joe's always open down low, and that's where they go, and why not? Nine points on a perfect 4 of 4 to go with 3 rebounds. McIntosh lost the ball, but last touch by Melbourne. 11 on the shot clock. A real realignment from Dean Vickerman in that timeout. Adams in motion, well short on the deep 2. Barlow on a wing, thought about it. Instead, they feed the Wala-Chul. Shot clock into single figures. Agata for the treble. That's long. McDaniel drags it in for Tasmania, who lead the rebound count by 3. Steindl driving on Golding, couldn't finish off. Agata up ahead. No foul call. Melbourne certainly thought there was. Adams played all the way through again with the left hand. We're going end to end. No one can find the bottom of the net here. Agata, baseline. Tough move under the basket. Tassie have got a 3-on-2 up ahead. McDaniel. No foul called. What a strange couple of minutes this has been.
And they're letting them play a little, aren't they? Both teams a little aggrieved, feeling like they've missed a couple of whistles as they've attacked the rim in transition, but the refs letting them play.
35-27. Bang on 6 minutes to play before halftime at MyState Bank Arena.
Weeks of your ball out, be in line. Actually, Sammy, let's switch spots. You're gonna set the screen, Sammy. Weeks of year here, Matt, you got the ball out. Looking for a peek. JB's getting across. I'd like to take a look back here. If he walks down the lane, I think they'll jam that up. This on the backside into the flat. All right, line. Got it?
Am I getting this guy?
You're getting Sammy.
JackJumpers leading. Home fans are loving it at MyState Bank Arena. There's Hugh Greenwood sitting in the crowd this afternoon. A proud Tasmanian, born in Hobart. Very, very good and talented junior basketballer. Now we're playing with North Melbourne next year in the AFL.
Give us a
wave. This year, I should
Give us a wave, Hugh. I like he's representing the JackJumpers there. Geez, he could ball too.
Yeah.
University of New Mexico, Australian junior teams.
Spent some time with the Wildcats as well.
Not a lot of time.
No, just a cup of coffee, basically. Besto still finding hard under the basket. Do you think Scott Roth would find a way to work Hugh into the rotation?
I'd like to see him get amongst it at some point.
My word.
Get in there pre-season, see how he goes.
Delavadova's pass chopped off. Nice hands by Kenyon. Steindl gave it straight back at the other end. Wallachul sitting down at the moment. Ariel Hook-Porty playing the 5. Wants to get to his left hand. He's just too big and too strong, and there's just nothing Tasmania can do about that.
Good patience from the big German. I thought Besto held his ground really well initially, but Hook-Porty continued to pound away, got to his spot.
Steindl up top.
Speaking of getting to his spots, that's exactly how Clint Steindl wants it. Peeling off those staggered screens off the ball, striding left, right into his three-point look.
2 of 3 from outside this afternoon. Melbourne found themselves down 10. It's the first time this year with Chris Golding in the lineup. Nice move by Newley. That they'd been down double figures, Melbourne. Tasmania have certainly taken it to them. Weeks. McDaniel takes the extra step. It'll be waved off.
Again, it's another jack jumper, turning down a look from long range to be aggressive towards the rim. I don't mind it there from McDaniel, but you don't want this guy doing that. Clint Steindl, the dribble handoff from Bairstow, and he doesn't need a lot of room. Steindl, he knows he's going to let it fly. He comes off, ready to release it.
Dellavedova, 2 points to his name so far. Nice pass behind the back, though, for Barlow. Offensive rebound, Jack White. Out to Dellavedova. That 3 jumps out. And there's the emphasis on the offensive rebounds that Dean Vickerman spoke about in that recent timeout.
Yeah, that's what he was looking for, the energy. And that's what it takes. Jack White in the game, Ariel Hook-Porty, a couple of extra bites at the cherry. And they draw the foul on Tassie there, so Vickerman would like that kind of response. Jack White, that's the impact Jack White can have. Top 10 in offensive rebounding, top 5 in blocks. Even though he's, only just come back into the game after a long layoff, just because he brings that energy and athleticism around the rim.
And even though he's only been back for a short space of time, his plus-minus numbers are so good. He has such an impact when he's on the floor. Newley's basket will count. Josh Adams didn't necessarily agree.
Good little spark from Newley as well. They've just been having a little bit of a difficult time breaking down that perimeter defense. Melbourne United, Newley, that's a couple of possessions he's been able to snake his way into the lane.
Jet and Dellavedova, 2 of the best passing point guards in the NBL, going head-to-head this afternoon. It's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Hook-Porty. Jack McVeigh, Liam, has only played 5 minutes in the game. There he is. 0 field goal attempts. That's not the Jack McVeigh that we knew from the Adelaide 36ers.
Just hasn't found his comfort zone yet in this squad. Scott Roth believes in him. He's got him out there as his starting 4. Just hasn't been able to find his spots just yet.
Sets the pick for Majet. Trying to bank it home. Be a foul over the back on McIntosh. His first of the game.
Again, I don't mind that. As you say, first personal, only the second team foul, 3 minutes to play in the term. Scott Roth will want McIntosh getting on that offensive glass.
Melbourne have broken the press, and Ariel Hook-Porty nearly broke the rim at My State Bank Arena. Back to a 5-point game after it was a double-figure margin for Melbourne. And this group that Dean Vickerman has out there at the moment are bringing the energy. Hook-Porty with rebound number 4. There he is, rolling to the basket. Dellavedova found him and won.
Great find from Daly off that pick and roll. Here it is in transition. Newley just put it up above the rim. The big German will go and find it. He knows what to do with it from there. And then Daly, the help was just a little late from Josh Adams from the weak side. Just hesitated a moment. Hook-Porty able to catch it, finish through the contact.
These are some big minutes from the teenage next star. 9-4. This is all happening with Golding and Agata on the bench. Scores level at 38. The JackJumpers now nearly 2.5 minutes without a basket. Finding themselves a little cold at the back end of this quarter. Shot clock down to 6. Adams, guarded by Newley. He's going to have to do it himself, and does. He's been the answer in this first half.
He wanted the call. Barlow did nothing wrong, as he stayed vertical on the contest at the rim. Adams still good enough to finish.
Nice play there by Adams to knock it away from Hook Porty off the pick and roll. JackJumpers, and here's Scott Roth saying, keep moving, keep it moving. It's been a feature of their play in the last 2 rounds. McIntosh is called for a hook.
Well, he won't get any stats for it, Matthew Dellavedova, but at the defensive end, the last 2 possessions, the previous one denying Josh Majette the ball on the perimeter, blowing up Tassie's offensive execution, and there the rotation to McIntosh as he got switched off his man and then slides his feet, draws the offensive foul with the hook. Again, nothing in the box score, but they are winning plays that Dean Vickerman would be loving from his point guard.
This is a whole new experience for Josh Majette. He's played all over the world, and he's very likely never come up against a guard who was as ferocious on the ball carrier as Matthew Dellavedova. JackJumpers lead it by 2. Inside 2 minutes to play before half-time. Here's Scott Roth.
1 out. All right? 1 out. We'll bring it. Be patient. We'll look there first. You'll replace. All right? We got to win the last minute 15. It's been in the paint down there. We got to buck up a little bit. Got to get a little more physical, a little smarter. Good help on the backside there. Finish the quarter. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
It's a very important minute 51, this one for Tasmania.
It's been an important sort of 5 minutes. You know, those last 3 minutes there, midway through this term, this team was up double digits. And we saw it last night in Cairns with the Taipans with an unbelievable start against the Wildcats. 13-zip to open the game up. They got up 18, I think, at one point in that first term. But the Wildcats able to storm back in, and Melbourne United have been able to crawl their way back in this second quarter. As Scott Roth says, Tassie need to finish strong here, take some confidence in a half-time.
Chris Golding back out there. Only 3 points on 1 of 2 shooting. By his standards. Quiet first half so far. Nice pass down low for Lawala Chul. Took the contact and went upstairs. He's in the double figures. Melbourne lock it away at 40 apiece. JackJumpers searching for some fluency offensively. Comes off balance. Dellavedova head down. Jack White running hard at the other end. He's a little out of control. Here's McVeigh pulling up in transition. How's the dare?
Well, he'll never lack confidence, Jack McVeigh. Spoke about it, just trying to find his spots. Well, that's a good one. Pull up in transition. Might just get him going.
2 more for Lawala Chul. No answer for him. Will Magnay not playing if you have just joined us due to COVID protocols. Jock Perry also not suiting up for the JackJumpers. Melbourne and a couple of players also not out there today. Nice pass cut from Dellavedova to Golding.
Beautiful. Great read from Chris Golding. The defense playing the high side, punish it with the backdoor cut. And Delly, perfect timing with the bounce pass.
It's Melbourne. They now find themselves in front.
No basket. Okay.
Over second. Third in the competition for assists per game. Matthew Dellavedova, he's going to come out to finish off the term. Adams to inbound, 7 seconds to work with for Tasmania. A wide open Fabian Krislovic. Can't knock it down. United were down double figures early stages of the second quarter. They settled into their work and now find themselves up one, 44 to 43 at the main break.
Good response from the defending champs out of that timeout from Dean Vickerman, where Tassie were beating him in the energy plays. He said, hey, we're supposed to be the ones getting work done on the offensive glass, and they're out hustling us. So down double digits, as you say, they work their way back into it and they lead at halftime.
Let's get to Anthony Stewart.
Josh Adams with me. Another fantastic half of basketball by yourself on your home floor. How's it feeling?
Feels good, but can't lie, I'm disappointed. You know, we had the defending champs on the ropes, up 10, and we're down 1.
Yeah, 18 minutes, you were right there in front. What's the key to the second half?
Execution. I think we got up by 10. We settled for some shots. We settled for some stuff on defense. We got to stop the big fella rolling inside down there. We're a little undersized without Jock and Mag, so we got to pick it up on the defensive end and execute down here.
I love what you're bringing, Josh. We'll see you after the break.
He's had a big first half, Josh Adams, 13 points on 6 of 12 shooting. He's the equal leading scorer in the game, and we've got ourselves a contest at My State Bank Arena. The JackJumpers led it at quarter time, but Melbourne hit back and lead 44 to 43. Halftime shows coming up next. Half-time in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The JackJumpers led the game at quarter time, and then early stages of the second quarter got it out to a double-figure lead. But just like we expect from some of the best teams in this competition, Melbourne made their adjustments, got their mojo going, and they lead it by 1 at the half.
Well, it's been a great start from Tasmania, especially in that first quarter. And it's all about their pressure. They forced 11 turnovers in that first half from Melbourne United and brought the pressure on D. We're in attack mode offensively. Impressive first half from Josh Adams. He's Tassie's leading scorer. Clint Steindl, of course, they're always going to run some stuff from him, and he's in good form. But as that half wore on, Melbourne started to attack the pressure up the floor and started to get a little bit better with their execution in the half court. And as a result, they got on top and they lead things at the half.
Did they throw something at Melbourne, Tasmania, that perhaps United weren't expecting as we take a look at some of the leading scorers in the game?
Well, there you see Adams and Luala Chul are the game leading scorers with 13 apiece. Hook Porty with 9. So there you can see the impact of no Will Magnay. The two bigs for Melbourne leading the way. Most of that done around the rim. And look at the field goal percentage for Melbourne United, 64%. Now, when they look after the ball, again, double-figure turnovers, then they get good looks. They're able to knock it down. And you're right, they did. The pressure from Tassie was the difference in that at the start of that first quarter.
So when they get something like that thrown at them, it takes a little bit of adjusting. And as we spoke about Melbourne being one of the best teams in the competition, you've had a look at how Melbourne made their adjustments. Once they worked out what the JackJumpers were doing, how did they make it work for them?
Well, let's have a look here to begin with at how the pressure was making things tough for Melbourne United. Keep an eye here on Mikhail McIntosh as he jumps out a hard hedge on the show on the pick and roll here as he's about to jump out, make things tough for Shea Ely. They get a hand on it, the deflection. Now they're off and running in transition. Now he doesn't finish, but their energy, cleaning it up on the offensive glass, they find Clint Steindl for a knockdown 3. Now, Dean Vickerman called a timeout, said, hold on there. Handle the pressure. Caleb Agata was saying they're hard showing on these actions. The big fella, Joe Luala Chul, is open down low. So now they come down, Shea Ely, a little bit of pistol action here on the strong side. And Caleb Agata knows that this hard hedge from Mikhail McIntosh is coming. Don't panic. Just keep control of the ball. And as the play, he pulls it out. They find Joe Luala Chul down low, and with the mismatch, they just can't handle the big fella down low. And of course, the other way to punish the pressure is with the back cut. Andrew Gaze, if he's watching, shout out. He made a career out of this. Chris Goulding here on the weak side, sees his defender playing on the high side. They've cleared out that space for Chris Goulding to attack. And look at this pass from Matthew Dellavedova. Just threads the needle and finds Goulding going back door. So Tassie going to bring the pressure defensively. It's all about how well Melbourne handle it.
So you've seen offensively there from Liam how Melbourne have worked it out. The other thing that they really have at their advantage in this game, with no Will Magnay playing due to COVID protocols, is they've got 2 7-footers. And there's nothing that can stop Joe Luala Chul in this game so far. 13 and 5, he's an enormous presence.
Well, if they execute and they could make good decisions in the half court, Melbourne United, they're going to find Joe Luala Chul down low early and often. And you're right, there's no one to stop him down there. Look, if he gets the mismatch here, he's patient, he can go to work, finish strong over the top. But even if he doesn't get the mismatch, if they can find him down low, even if they help and they slide across, his length and his poise down low is going to make things difficult. Yes, he knocked one down from the perimeter, but look at all that right around the rim. Hasn't missed, 6 of 6 from the field, 13 points. He's got a chance to have another 15 or 20 in this second half if they continue to pound it into it.
Tassie have got a big problem when it comes to stopping the big man. Melbourne lead at half-time, and as we head to the break, you too can play like a pro thanks to Bunnings Warehouse, who are giving you the chance to win your very own court at home. All you need to do, enter now at win.nbl.com.au/Bunnings.
I was out there every day, so I think if I had a full court, you wouldn't get me inside.
Most of the games I played on the lower hoop, just to show my supreme athleticism.
I only worked on shooting, which is why that's really all I can do.
When you're 8 years old or 10 years old, it's the best thing in the world.
I had a basket hoop and a little trampoline. I used to play back there for hours with my brother and get beat up a lot, but it was a lot of fun in the meantime.
I hope that one day when I grow up, I'll be able to give my kids a court at home as well.
That's where I lost a lot of games to my brother at.
Started at this height, and every
year I got older, it moved higher and higher until I got to 10 foot, and I'm doing the same with my kids back at home.
My dad built one, so I had a little bit of like a half court going on, and that made my life the best, so I could never complain as a kid.
And that was kind of like our sanctuary, our getaway from everything.
Great to have your company. New Year's Day in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and it's Melbourne who lead 44-43 at quarter time. Second game of round 5. Yesterday it was the Cairns Taipans and the Perth Wildcats who did battle. The Wildcats got it done 84-78. In this one, we've seen the very best of the JackJumpers, and Liam, on the way to half-time, we saw something that resembled some of Melbourne's best as well.
Well, they just solved some of the problems, didn't they, Melbourne United? So Tassie will bring the pressure again to start this third. Golding and Agata back out there. And that's a nice way to start the third quarter for Melbourne United, as Golding just grabs his shooting hand to say, this baby's doing some good work.
Here I am. 8 points on 3 of 4 for Chris Golding, who leads the competition in threes made per game. Adams, lovely finish underneath.
Creative from Adams. Wrong-footed, just kept it in that right hand and got it up and in before the shot blocker got to it.
15 points on 7 of 13 shooting for the Arizona native Josh Adams.
Again, there you see the aggressive coverage on the pick and roll. Hard show from Bairstow, but it's not, they're not just jumping out there. They got their hands involved as well. Knocks it away. 10 on the shot clock for United.
Dellavedova and Mawala-Chul trying to play a little two-man game. Jack McVeigh pushes the ball up the floor. Space for Majet to fire away. He needed that. 2 of 7 for the afternoon. United go into the low block, and the JackJumpers swarm en masse to win it back. Tassie lead it by 1. And Jet off balance 3, not that time. Here's Golding. You know the rest.
Well, that's a worrying sign for the JackJumpers, because Golding is an absolute game breaker. Quiet in the first half, and then bang, bang inside the first 2 minutes of the third.
McVeigh at the top of the key. Knocked down 1-3 in the opening half. Short on that one. Golding with his back to the basket. Saw the big man, found him, and he's fouled. It's a 2-point lead to Melbourne United. Let's check in with Anthony Stewart.
Yeah, guys, it's interesting. Chris Golding, 1 of 2 at half-time. He was always going to come out at some stage and put those shots up. So they're going to have to shut that down pretty quick.
Stewie is a Tasmanian, of course. Chris, born in Launceston, 2nd all-time in the NBL for Tasmanians in terms of points scored. You know who's first?
That'd be me.
Yeah, you know it is.
Do you want to know the stats?
Well, you're way out in front, big fella.
Yeah, yep. A lot of hard work at the PCYC getting that done.
Good man. Ian Davies, Adam Gibson, Matt Knight rounding out the top 5. What do you love about Chris Golding's game, Stewie?
Oh, look, he's a pure shooter. He can go quiet for a while, but you know he's going to come back, and come that last quarter with 5 minutes to go, I know whose hands I want that ball in.
41% three-point shooter this season. Anthony Stewart himself shot the ball at a very nice clip.
Sure did.
McVeigh saw that it was only Barlow in front of him, took the initiative and scores.
There's nothing pretty about it. There, McVeigh in transition. Great job on D. Scored the bucket, got back, moved his feet, took the hit. Jack McVeigh having an impact.
They're up for the fight here, the JackJumpers. Mawala-Chul's first foul of the game.
Here we go.
Third quarters, they couldn't contrast anymore between these two teams. Melbourne second in the competition, they averaged 22.5 points in third quarter. Tasmania last at 16 points. And in the games, Perth aside, Liam, in the games that they've lost, it's been the third quarter that has brought them undone. And the Jet long, maybe a foul on Chris Levick.
He knocked out that one before Josh Majet, and as you said, he needed it, and he certainly has that range. But I think when things get really bogged down and difficult for the JackJumpers, they can't just resort to launching it from long range off the bounce. They need Josh Majet to get in a playmaking frame of mind and set guys up.
Not when they're last in the competition, three-point shooting percentage either. The stat has improved for them in the last 2 rounds, but it's still not a great one. That turnover, not great either. That'll be on McDaniel.
One thing Scott Roth will be happy about is they've weathered that Chris Golding storm. Spoke about his ability to break games open. Well, hasn't actually been able to break this one wide apart with those early knockdowns to begin this third quarter. Tassie hanging tough.
So Jack White and Mason Peatling on the floor together. Hook Porty back out there too. Illy, nice pass underneath for White. Patient offense from Melbourne. Scott Roth's seen enough. United lead it by 2. 6 minutes and 7 seconds to play in the third quarter. This bench unit of Melbourne are coming up with some big minutes.
Good timing from Jack White, moving off the ball and just helping bail out Shea Illy there. Heads up play from White along the baseline.
Going back to Pat Euro with Clint this time. JA's the turnout. We'll hit. JA's through. Fab's got it. Jet, Sam, Clint, Euro. Heat on the rim, popping back. We got to get it down here, defense.
Hey, what are we talking about at halftime? Ready to jump and stick with it.
Come on.
Fellas, just slow down.
Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
And here's Tassie assistant coach Jacob Chance chiming in there at the end, saying what we spoke about at half-time is having an impact, and he's clearly talking about the way they're guarding Joe Luala-Chul. They're collapsing in on him early on the post catches and making it tough for him as the roll man. Wasn't able to have a huge impact to start this third quarter. He's out now, Hook Porty's in. As you say, they've got a big lineup on the floor, Melbourne United, with Jack White playing the 3 spot. It's going to put pressure on Tassie on the glass.
Dean Vickerman has spoken about that. They want Jack White to try and develop in a 3 and even a 2 role at some stage for Melbourne. The Jets spinning on Illy. It's knocked back to Tasmania's advantage, but Melbourne control it eventually. Hook Porty runs the floor, stuffs it. 11 points for Hook Porty, 15 for Luala-Chul. The big men having a huge influence in this game. Adams for 3, responds. He's the leading scorer now with 18 points. JackJumpers stay within reach. They trail by 1. There'll be a foul on Illy for a moving screen.
Really good job from Clint Steindl, chasing around Chris Goulding off the ball. He knows how to defend himself, and he's applying that with Chris Goulding there as he fights over the ball, the screens off the ball. Blew up the first action and then try to fight over the screen again. Draws the offensive foul.
Shea Illy picks up another one. That's 2 in the space of 15 seconds, and he'll need to come to the bench.
You hear Scott Roth in the background yelling out, "Terror, terror," and he's asking for one of his bigs to come up the floor and set a back screen in the back court on the pressured defender, which was Shea Illy right there. You can see Sam McDaniel coming up, getting ready to set it. Krizlovic with the step-up screen right there. Can't leave your point guard on an island against defensive pressure.
Daniel knocks down the 2 from the elbow, particularly, Liam, when it's either Shea Illy or Matthew Dellavedova.
Wow, for real. Those guys are a nightmare for opposing guards, and they will have spoken about that in the lead-up to this game. We've got to help our guys out there.
Peatling went the wrong way and went straight into Clint Steindl. Jump ball, possession arrow, Tasmania.
Again, Steindl defensively perfectly timed help along the baseline. Applies the double team as Peatling's blindsided, forces the turnover.
JackJumpers at home this season, 2 wins and 1 loss. Melbourne on the road have been 1-1 so far in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's going to be an extended period on the road, though, for Melbourne due to the Australian Open. Both them and the Phoenix will be playing a lot of away games during the month of January.
Oh, that's a worry for Weeksy.
Goulding at the other end makes them pay. His 4th 3. Let's have a look here at Jared Weeks.
It was late in the shot clock. He's trying to make a play, Weeks, and as he spun his way into the lane, keep an eye on his knee here. Just loses his footing and then grabs straight to that left knee. Look at his left knee as he spins here. Oh.
Did he catch a little bit of Delhi's foot on the way through as well?
He lost his foot there on that step. Maybe it was just knee contact on the hardwood. That'll be a good result if it's...
Stewie will be all over that.
And not a twist or a tear of any sort.
Majet had some space to get the three away. 3 of 7 from outside today.
Well, we suggested they holster the 3-ball. Good thing they didn't listen, Jack. Adams and Majet with knockdown triples, and they've taken back the lead.
But they're better looks, aren't they?
They are good looks. They're getting the ball through some hands and getting some stops as well.
McIntosh drags it in. Majet blows past Dellavedova. Points are going to count.
Great read from Majet. Knows he's made the defense aware of the threat of the 3-ball, and then they expect the handoff, and he just takes Dellavedova by surprise, attacking the rim.
And now Delly's got 4 of his own fouls. Shea Ili and Matthew Dellavedova with 4 apiece. That is a problem for Dean Vickerman. Just get the ball wiped.
You got a dry one there?
Or get a dry one, whatever's easiest.
He wasn't going to shoot it, was he?
Was not going to shoot it. Dean Vickerman on screen needs one more win for 150 as coach. And when he does it, if he can do it within the next 9 games, he'll be the 5th fastest coach of all time to 150 wins. The legendary Brian Curl holds the record. We tick up to 3 minutes before 3/4 time. Sold out crowd once again at My State Bank Arena. It's becoming a pattern for the JackJumpers as Hook Porty slips over.
I spoke about those foul issues that Melbourne United have with both Dellavedova and Ili on 4. Dean Vickerman could go to an Agata Golding backcourt right now, but he's holding strong. He's going to leave Delhi out there. You see Hook Porty getting his legs tangled up as well. He's going to trust the veteran to play through his foul trouble here to end this 3rd quarter.
Here's Chris Golding. Delhi. No foul called, stripped. Nice hands by the captain, Steindl. JackJumpers lead it by 3. Majet and Krislovic got a little confused. Tasmania retain possession. 14 on the shot clock.
Got to be impressed with the defensive impact of Clint Steindl in this 3rd quarter. Off the ball, ready to help, chasing his man off a whole bunch of screens. The captain really setting the tone defensively here when the going's getting tough.
McIntosh pops out for 3. That won't be counting. Newley. Hands off to Golding. Shot clock at 9. Porty had a man open in White, took it himself, couldn't finish. Athletic move. All the same from the next start. JackJumpers through McIntosh, hard drive. Draws contact from Hook Porty.
Good take from McIntosh. Missed a wide open 3 on the pick and pop the previous possession, and this time catches it in an aggressive mindset. Rips it through, attacks the rim, challenges the defense, and gets to the stripe.
can that mindset be, Liam? If Corey was here with us today, I'd be asking him, having been in that position, but how can the mindset be for an import when you're Mikhail McIntosh? You're vastly experienced. He's played in South Korea, France, the G League, but it's just not happening for you, and there's an expectation that it should be happening for you.
You got to bring the energy. He'll know what the situation is. Yeah, can't hide away from the fact that he hasn't been producing. He knows he's an import in this league, an expansion team. They're going to need all three of their imports playing at a high level, and he'll know he needs to pick it up if he wants to stay with this squad throughout the rest of the season. And a lot of that is the energy, getting on the offensive glass. We've seen him trying to do that, getting in attack mode offensively, but then also taking his opportunity. They need him to knock down that shot when he gets open on the pick and pop. So got to try to piece it all together, but it starts with playing with a high level of energy.
The Jet again gets in front of Dellavedova. Knocked down the mid-ranger. McIntosh pounces on the loose ball. He and Kenyon couldn't find the bottom of the net for the JackJumpers. Lawala-Chul, look out!
Oh boy, Matt Kenyon came across to help out on Lawala-Chul, and then he just left the ball. And Joe Lawala-Chul had a wide open lane to the rim.
It's back to a one-point game. Melbourne play with that increased tempo that's been working for them in quarter number 3. Now they settle in. Dellavedova's floater doesn't get the bounce that he was after. Let's check in with Anthony Stewart with the latest on Jarrad Weeks.
Yeah, he's back on the bike on the sideline. What I did notice is under his bike pants, he's heavily taped. So it might be a reoccurring injury for him. But this game's so physical right now. It's great to watch.
Thank you, Stewie. Good news for Jarrad Weeks there. Very popular player in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Garda. Shot clock in single figures. Steps back on Majet. Jack White hustling, threw it back in, but Tassie were there waiting for it.
Really well defended by the JackJumpers. Blew up the lob play off the baseline out of bounds and finished the job.
And McVeigh finishes the job offensively.
I like that. Pick and pop Majet with McVeigh. He can knock that down.
8 points on 3 of 4. Chop that pick and roll off.
This is what we talk about with the pick and pop. Jack McVeigh setting the ball screen, and then instead of rolling to the rim as Majet rejects the screen there, he just pops out to the three-point line. Now, that makes it difficult for the defense. Catch and shoot, three-point hit.
Second time around, the floater's good for Daly. Last possession is a good one for Melbourne. 5 seconds for the JackJumpers. Majet on the drive. Lawala-Chul stalked him all the way to the basket. Blocked the shot, but it's the JackJumpers who lead it by 2 at three-quarter time. 65-63. Don't go too far. This is going to go right the way down to the wire in the Hungry Jacks NBL. You're watching Newsday Basketball in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Tasmania JackJumpers lead it by 2 at three-quarter time, 65-63. And it's the third game in a row that the JackJumpers have been in front at three-quarter time.
Can they finish the job against the defending champs on that 3-game winning streak? They won that third quarter, Tassie, and their defense really stood up. A couple of hits from long range helped the cause for sure, but keeping Melbourne to less than 20 for the quarter. If they can do that again, they'll be right in the mix here.
The issue for them, though, is they've been outscored in fourth quarters in those last 2 games. There's Jared Weeks at the end of the JackJumpers bench. The news at this stage seems to be okay, although I don't think we'll see him this afternoon.
I see him grabbing that right knee of his. He had his hand on it while he was on the bike as well, so clearly still giving him some discomfort.
Went down in that third quarter. Majet swings to the corner. McVeigh wide open. That rattles out. It's a good look all the same. Illy playing with 4 fouls. Both he and Dellavedova have got 4 apiece. And they swarm on the Walla Chul, and that forces a mistake. Steindl, feet set. Not that time.
Geez, 2 good looks in a row. Very wide open in the corner. Steindl there, transition 3. You're right, they're really putting the pressure on Walla Chul inside, and Agata there with the floater, and that's a little adjustment for Melbourne United. As those guys get in the lane, the defense is staying at home on JLA. The floater from Daly, the floater from Agata. Those shots are there.
65 each at MyState Bank Arena. Majet. Long 3 off target. Newley, strong rebound. Came in for contact as well. It won't necessarily show up in a box score anywhere, but Brad Newley's contribution from an energy standpoint in this game has been really important for Melbourne.
Well, the rotation gets pretty congested. I eventually got there, didn't I? when those guys coming back in the lineup.
I was worried you'd left it.
Right, Chris Golding, Jack White back in the mix. Mason Peatling back from that 1 game suspended. So a lot of guys set to get minutes. And the minute squeeze has been there from Brad Newley, but bringing the energy while he's out there.
Adams drives over the top of Walla Chul. Now Melbourne stream forward at the other end. Nice job by Kenyon to deny that pass into the low block. Eventually, they find Walla Chul. Melbourne lose possession. They're fighting hard, the home team.
Again, Brad Newley, effort on the offensive blast there. Dean Vickerman would love that kind of contribution off the bench.
Matt Kenyon comes out. Dean Vickerman, Melbourne with a 3-win, 2-loss record in the season so far. They have away games coming up against Illawarra, Cairns and Adelaide. The Taipans, as we saw last night, are a tough team to play on their home floor. Adams fouled while shooting the 3. Dean Vickerman is beside himself.
Well, they're going to having a little talk, Vickerman and Barlow right here, about a potential coach's challenge. And you see Adams stopped on a dime, rose up. Contact from Barlow underneath. He felt like he was straight up.
I'll challenge it.
Going over timeout.
Yeah.
Timeout. Coach Howland. Chris.
Coach's challenge for Dean Vickerman. Scott Roth has already used his in the game and was unsuccessful. So now we have a coach's challenge, and the result of that on the other side of this, it's 65 apiece in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
All right, so it's time for the bulk nutrients flex cam. Oh, wait, no, Jack, you do it. Yeah, show them how it's done. If you want to get up on the big screen, thanks to our friends at Bulk Nutrients.
Timeout here for Melbourne United. And part of that is a coach's challenge. Here is what the replay centre are looking at. Where is the contact on the shooter here, Lee?
That angle on the top right would have been good, but the cut away. There you see. So the issue is whether Adams has space to land. I saw this last night with Vic Law on Majuk Deng. Does he get underneath the airborne shooter here, Dave Barlow? I think, yeah, as he's leaning forward, I think he takes away that landing space so ever so slightly. I'm 0 for 1, though.
We're back at My State Bank Arena, taking a look at the coach's challenge for the foul on Josh Adams while shooting the three.
There's no contact with the hands from Dave Barlow. It's just a matter of whether they feel he's taken away Adams' landing space. You see, he leans forward ever so slightly with his chest. We saw a similar kind of call last night in Cairns. Vic Law getting underneath Majuk Deng.
What do you think? Here's Chris Reid.
Challenge is unsuccessful. The call on blue 20 on the floor stands. We're shooting 2 shots, green 14.
There you go. So unsuccessful for Vigo. He wants an explanation.
Replay says he's come forward underneath the shooter, takes his landing spot.
That was a little gun shy.
No.
Missed my first attempt.
Don't go gun shy on us now. You read that one perfectly. Rebound for Barlow. Golding off the floor at the moment for Melbourne. Illy, Barlow, Agata, Newley, and Lualachul out there for United. McDaniel, Bairstow, Adams, McVeigh, Majet for the JackJumpers. Nice take, Shea Illy.
Good execution from Melbourne. Play call there for Shea Illy. Get him going downhill. The misdirection with Caleb Agata. And the rotation was there for Tassie. But Illy good enough to finish.
Hook Porty having a career high night. The next star, that's now 7 rebounds to go with his 11 points. There's Illy again getting downhill and again scoring.
Just carving his way through the defense. Shea Illy back-to-back buckets. Timeout, Scott Roth and the JackJumpers.
It's a 3-point lead to United. Their last 2 play calls have been clinical. And both for Shea Illy. He's now got 5 points to go with his 3 rebounds. Bit of momentum starting to build for the visitors. Let's take a listen to Dean Vickerman.
Caleb, you're hanging around too long right now. All right, hang around here. Go sprint to that corner, and we'll get you out of it. Hey, you're going to see the disruption the whole game. Just be really solid in your leads right now. All right, are they going to come and double you with some red 40s? Make sure our circles are really good. Guard behind it. All right, be really good in that area. I like the way you're busting through stuff. McVeigh, know the guys that you guys can hustle. Keep getting through Steindl, all right? Same play. One circle.
It's worked for them the last 2 trips down the floor. Dean Vickerman calling for the same play next time around for Melbourne United. If you think that you can shoot a full court shot at an NBL game, all you need to do is head to the NBL website win page. The details are on your screen in the Latrobe Financial Sharp Shot. If you miss out the first time, you've got another chance from halfway to shoot for $50,000. That is one hell of a prize. I'm told you've been practicing, Leo.
Sometimes I think Josh McJett's getting practice shots up with where he likes to launch it from.
Adams, late in the clock, he'll have to shoot. Golding made life difficult. How's that from Josh Adams?
Oh my. It's found money for the JackJumpers. Just making something out of nothing at the end of the clock.
Fell over at the other end. Nearly played through and then hook Porty misses a bunny. And the Jack Jumpers with a chance to take the lead back on this trip down the floor. And the Jets floater from the free throw line doesn't go. Agata to Barlow in the corner.
Shoulder, grab his shoulder, took him out.
And foul on Hook Porty. Barlow 0 from 2 in this game.
15, hold.
For a 42% three-point shooter, that's not something we say often.
You see Josh Adams again, late in the clock, good concentration, got a little side of the rim, knew the time on the shot clock, good awareness, able to knock it in. And yeah, you're right, Barlow's coming up a little short on his attempts, but that's a guy you can't leave open. They dodged the bullet there, the Jack Jumpers. It was a good decision in transition, help out on Hook Porty in the middle of the lane, but can't keep leaving Barlow open.
That is a tough, tough look from Adams that time. Golding backdoor. That was off his foot last. Nice hands, McDaniel. The little nod to Shaley, though. He knew the pass was on.
And they're just trying to find all the different ways you can punish the pressure, Melbourne United, because as Stewie said right off the top, this is how the Jack Jumpers are going to try to make it happen today. Bring all kinds of ball pressure, get in the passing lanes. They know they've got no rim protection with Magnay not out there, and Melbourne trying to find the ways to make it pay.
Jack Jumpers with a 7-day break. Their next game will be in Sydney on January the 8th. And then on the Monday at the State Basketball Centre against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. White denies McIntosh. And United take it to the other end. Garda's lob is no good for Hook Porty. Shot clock down to 8. Steps back on Krislovic. Caleb Agata buries a deep one.
That's tough from Agata. Got the contact, the step back, a little separation, and he drilled it.
Mention those next games. Round 6 for all Hungry Jacks NBL fans, as per schedule. NBL.com.au to find out all of the information that you need. It's been a challenging week, but we're going to be back as per from round 6.
A little bit of anxiety creeping in for the Jack Jumpers offensively. They get it back here, another look at it, but they can just, you get a sense they can feel this slipping away. Here, Krislovic's on an island with Agata. Gets the space he needs to get that away. And they're having a little trouble executing offensively here, Tasmania.
This has been symptomatic of all of their losses except for the Perth game where they lost by 18. They have been in winning positions going into the last quarter. They need to execute down the stretch. The Jet. Excellent defense from Jack White. He takes it to the other end and lays it up with the left hand.
Ouch. Hard landing from Adams underneath. Good finish from Jack White. Adams was coming across as the help man from the other side. Look at Adams come across here, bounce up and over the top. And he came down hard on that left knee.
He looks to be okay, which is promising for Tasmania. They're already without Jared Weeks for the remainder of the game. Melbourne lead it by 6. Tassie with only 3 points in this last quarter so far, Liam. But you can't fault the contribution of Josh Adams across the afternoon. 21 points on 9 of 17 shooting. He's starting to really find his groove now in the league.
Yeah, he is. He's got a real balance about his offensive attack. Second straight game with 20 plus. And look at all these highlights from early on where he's putting it on the deck, trying to get into the lane, make plays at the rim. That's how he got himself going. Scoring through the contact, and now he's starting to feel good. Pull-ups from long range. step backs, knocking it in late in the quarter. So I like the approach once again from Adams. It hasn't resulted in a bunch of free throw attempts, but you see from the SodaStream shot chart, a good mix. A little bit at the rim, a little bit mid-range. 1 of 5 from outside. He's been aggressive, but has had a good balance to that attacking mindset.
And hopefully, coming out of this timeout, no issues with that knee on the hard landing. And there he is. Looks a little sore. They might have understated that a little. He looks quite sore. JackJumpers looking for their 3rd win in their short Hungry Jacks NBL career. Both of those wins have come here at My State Bank Arena. Opening night against the Brisbane Bullets. And then Boxing Day against the New Zealand Breakers. Krislovic just hanging around, made himself useful.
Well, they ran that action for Clint Steindl, and he did eventually get a little loose, which forced the switch. And the JackJumpers did a good job finding McIntosh inside. He had the mismatch with Chris Golding. The help came, Krislovic open in the middle of the lane. So good reads from the JackJumpers there as they executed offensively.
Fabian Krislovic yet to make a free throw this season.
Ofa.
Ofa.
Over the season.
It's a very small sample size, I will admit.
Okay.
That remains the same.
Hey, run it! Run it! Stay solid! Stay solid!
Golding. Dellavedova. Hook Porty, Agata, and White out there for Melbourne. Great D from the JackJumpers here. They force a really tough shot. O-board though for Jack White. McIntosh, 3 fouls to his name. Got a piece of that Agata shot. 2 really good defensive sets for Tasmania.
That's a whole bunch of really good defense. Scott Roth would be wrapped. Geez, they've battled hard. It's late in the 4th quarter. You're trying your very best to just stay in this game. And they had to go deep in the shot clock, back-to-back possessions, and they got it done.
Agata comes out with a couple of fouls. Melbourne average 82 points a game. So far, they have 74 as we see Jared Weeks with ice on his knee.
Well, this is what Scott Roth's been talking about with his team. So we got a talent deficit compared to other teams. We know it. We've got to keep teams into the 70s, maybe at a stretch into the 80s to give ourselves a fighter's chance. And they've done a pretty good job of that tonight. Just a couple of buckets away from this one.
McIntosh driving. An offensive foul. Melbourne get a win. Dellavedova steps in to take the charge.
Good help, D, from Daly. Just a little bit of frustration from McIntosh. Just feels like he can't get anything happening. Lualachul slips. Daly slides over. And the call goes the way of United.
Fair call?
I think so. Yeah. I think Scott Roth must be thinking about Jack McVeigh. His last couple of minutes here, that pick and pop with McVeigh has been dangerous for Tassie, but he's rolling with McIntosh.
Late in the clock. Golding got his shot away. Kenyon gave just enough room. Off target. 4 of 6 from outside today. Majet put himself into the paint. One-legged floater. Offensive rebound. McIntosh. Majet relocates, and that doesn't go either.
2 good looks. Good job from McIntosh. He's out there. They're using him as the small ball 5. And so they've got a versatile lineup out there, and 2 really good looks from Majet.
They've had a lot of good looks in this last quarter. They come back to bite them. Nice play, McIntosh. Got a hand in the passing lane. Adams, coast-to-coast layup. 4-point game at MyState Bank Arena, 90 seconds to play. Jack McVeigh at the scorer's table, getting ready to check back in. Now, Illy blocked. Adams comes up with a big play defensively.
Great hands from Adams. Illy looked like he had the step on him, but Adams good enough to recover. Just right there, you thought he might be able to get past him, but Adams said, no way. Get that ish out of here.
Fifth on the table, playing ninth on the table. But in real terms, the defending champions up against the competition's newbies, that's going to hurt. The JackJumpers, they give it straight back.
He just lost the handle, Adams. Roth made that change, and he's going offense to defense here with McIntosh and McVeigh. As we said, he's using McIntosh as that small ball 5 and using him to defend Joe Luala-Chul, but then sending McVeigh out there for the offensive end.
Couple of timeouts left for Melbourne United. Dean Vickerman using one of these with 1:13 remaining. We spoke at halftime about the presence and the role of Joe Luala-Chul. Well, coming off the bench, Ariel Hook-Porty with career-high numbers here in the Hungry Jacks NBL today, the German next star, 11 and 6. The obvious statement is he's a very, very big young man, Liam, and Tasmania have learnt that the hard way today.
He's got all kinds of upside. Real high potential guy, Hook-Porty, and I think he's taking really good strides. This is such a perfect environment for him. Under Dean Vickerman, all this experience in this Melbourne United squad. The question about him in the lead up to next year's draft is what he can get done at the defensive end. Can he start to learn the game defensively, where he needs to be, what type of reads he needs to make and energy he needs to bring. That wasn't there for him in Lithuania last year, which is why under the defensive maestro here in Dean Vickerman, who really keeps his guys accountable, he's making big strides at that end, and you can see also just the poise that he's showing offensively, getting more and more comfortable each and every game.
It's the hottest ticket in town right now, a JackJumpers home game. Sold out crowd today, sell out on Boxing Day, sell out on opening night. Every single home game so far, we've been at maximum capacity. It's a huge tick of approval from Tasmanian sports fans. They'd love to see their team come away with one here. 1 minute remaining. Luala-Chul hemmed in baseline, got his pass away for Dellavedova. Tasmania crashed the boards, but White got a hand on it. Golding from deep. Misses. Ball still available. Illy came flying in.
Hey, wait, calm down. I'm going to review it, okay? I don't see who it comes off, so I've got to jump ball.
That was wild. Chris Golding, shot clock reset, up 4, still 13 seconds on the shot clock.
Shot it from the Derwent.
Launched it. Talking about his confidence right now. If it was anyone else in the world, it's an ill-advised shot. And they're going to send this upstairs. The JackJumpers feel like that comes off Shea Illy.
I think they might have a case.
It's really hard to see from that angle.
The thigh, does he touch it as well?
Good effort from Jack White in the offensive glass to begin with. Chris Golding lets it fly. And the JackJumpers continue to scramble. Desperately needed a stop on that possession here. We'd look for it. Is there a side angle you can work with? Maybe that top right. Whether that right thigh or knee of Illy gets involved.
This is what the replay centre are looking at right now.
He did everything he possibly could to avoid it after that moment, Illy. Successfully, it's just about whether it hits his thigh there on the way down.
one.
Tough call to make.
You're 1 from 1 today. Melbourne ball.
And can we confirm if the shot clock on 12 is correct? Billy had it, he still put your foot on the line and it hits you at the same time. Hey, they've got 9 angles. Josh, sorry, they've got 9 angles, they're all in HD. Okay? All right.
None of those angles were particularly decisive.
Josh Magette said that he's going to go home and watch it tonight. Doesn't matter now, Melbourne have got the ball back.
12 on the shot clock, huge possession.
And that's a turnover. After all of that, Tasmania get the ball back. Five points in the last quarter for Tassie, the lowest fourth quarter by any team this season so far was Tassie in Sydney. They need 2 buckets and they've got 40 seconds to do it in. All hinges on this trip down the floor. Magette.
Oh my goodness.
McVeigh was caught in 2 minds and travels.
Roth threw him back out there. Offense to defense. He threw McVeigh back in there for that set and he was taken by surprise. Bullet pass from Magette. He'll want that moment all over again.
That makes life difficult for the JackJumpers. Only 2 fouls in this quarter as well. Melbourne, with all of their experience out there, wind down as much time as available. They've done this well.
They did a good job of just keeping the floor spread there, Melbourne. Tassie didn't really want to foul. They just wanted to double team and try to force a turnover. It's just the 3rd team foul, so need to try to get a steal here and then foul quickly.
They inbound safely and haven't fouled as yet. Now the foul is called.
2 hits.
At that stage in a game of basketball, Liam, where for 3.5 quarters no one wants a foul called against them, and in the last 20 seconds, Scott Roth saying there's a foul there.
Well, now they've got no time to play with, the JackJumpers. No time for any double teams here. Need to foul on the catch, stop the clock, send Melbourne to the free throw line.
Josh Adams looks to be very sore with that knee. He injured earlier in the quarter. He's tried to tough it out. He hasn't been much of a factor down the stretch. Melbourne get it in and find Joe Luala-Chul. And that will be all that they need. Magette will get one last 3 away. He was fouled while he did it too. So we'll just prolong things out for Melbourne. They found themselves down double figures and were under the pump, but they never panicked.
Well, that's a bad foul, though, from Joe Luala-Chul, just quietly. Just don't foul there. This clock's going to run out. You're going to win the game. Now Magette goes to the stripe for 3. Still 5 seconds on the clock. It would take an absolute New Year miracle, but it does keep the game alive.
I always admire your glass half full approach to life, Liam. It's one of your redeeming qualities.
Well, that's a little sigh of relief there from Dean Vickerman off that free throw miss. Needed to drill all 3 of those, Magette, to give the JackJumpers even the tiniest of chances.
4 of 20 today, Josh Magette.
Off a 2 of 12 last week.
He makes 2 of 3. One last time out for Melbourne to take care of the result. They've had their opportunities. Tasmania will reflect on them, but Joe Luala-Chul, and his output this afternoon, best six-man of the year last season, has come into the United starting lineup this year in the absence of Jock Landale and is filling that big man role with aplomb.
Well, it was always a chance to have a big game in this one with no Will Magnay out there, and they had a little bit of trouble to begin with. Melbourne just trying to find the right spots, getting it through the pressure to find the big fella down low, and eventually got him going there a little bit in the second quarter. Had 13 points at half-time, 6 of 6 from the field, and has just been able to piece a couple more together since then. 19 and 7, not far off a 20 and 10 game at a really high percentage from Joe Luala-Chul. But to be honest, that could have been even bigger. Now the JackJumpers have put a lot of effort into just trying to make things as tough as possible. 5 turnovers with those numbers as well, off those double teams as the defense collapses. So nice game from Joe Luala-Chul, but I think Scott Roth would feel like they managed to keep it from being worse than it possibly could be.
He's our Foot Locker player of the game. Chris Golding's urging calm heads in these last 5.3 seconds. It'll be a Melbourne ball. Tasmania will be looking to foul immediately. Dellavedova throws a lob. The athleticism of Jack White to take care of things from there. Melbourne United come to Tasmania. It was a fight from the opening tip-off, but the defending champions prevail 76-72 in a really entertaining game at MyState Bank Arena.
Job done for Melbourne United. It is really hard to win on the road in this league, no matter how good you are. Perth and Melbourne, really high-level teams. Perth had to really work for it last night in Cairns, and Tassie made United really work hard for this win, and they held strong and got there.
Melbourne 4-2 on the season. We're going to come back and wrap it up after this in the Hungry Jacks NBL. You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL. It was a hard-fought battle at My State Bank Arena, but Melbourne United prevail 76-72 in a game where Tasmania will reflect, Liam, at their opportunities to have probably had the result go another way.
Yeah, I think so. Geez, they played hard, played well, Tasmania. Had the edge at times throughout the game. Their pressure was good. Melbourne found some ways to break it as the game wore on, and they kept a lid on Chris Goulding and Caleb Agata for the most part, and then they had a chance in that fourth quarter, had some good looks, a couple of really good looks from three early in that fourth quarter, and just a 7-point fourth quarter for Tasmania. Credit Melbourne United. Their defence held really strong down the stretch, and they made enough plays to get over the line, and that 3-game winning streak becomes 4 in a row now for the defending champs.
They're looking pretty sharp, and as you can see from the ladder as it stands, it's a bit of a disjointed ladder at the moment with a lot of games postponed, but United have got themselves into 4th position and are just looming large right now.
Playing well, for sure. The Wildcats on top. They've lost just 1 game in double OT, and Tasmania 2-5, but tell you what, the JackJumpers fans, they should be really proud of what their team's brought to the table to begin their first season.
We're back on Friday night as round 6 resumes as per schedule with Adelaide taking on Perth, but don't go too far. To break it all down, the gang's all assembled with the crossover up next.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Trade. This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Amy.
Locker room hype, get ready for the drop.
You're watching the Amy Crossover. Great to have your company. Happy New Year wherever you may find yourselves across the country today. I'm Cap Durkin, joined by Kane Pittman, Damon Lowry and Marley Biondolo. Gents, Happy New Year. How'd we go last night?
Nice and tame. Took it easy.
I'm glad we got no headaches because there's some bright footwear in this room that would really be setting it off. I think Marley's winning on that front.
Well, thanks for that.
You might have had it.
But... Yeah, I mean, I had to come into 2022, with just something bright.
Yeah,
really
set the world on fire.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, good. We got the fashion talk out of the way. Great game we just saw there. Melbourne United, the JackJumpers. Of course, we thought it might have been a bit comprehensive to Melbourne United, but JackJumpers really doing what they've been doing all year, being quite competitive, but again, just falling short at the depth.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's been kind of the typical story. They battle really hard defensively. They're scrappy. They know that they're undersized, and they've said that right from the opening part of the season and from media day. Scott Roth was saying, look, we're a little bit undersized. We're going to have to do things a little bit differently. They find themselves in the game, and we find ourselves here wanting to see them get over that hump. Offensively, they haven't been able to figure it out in the fourth quarter, but they're right there.
I've got 2 major problems with how the JackJumpers are going. Yep, you played 7 games. You played the most games of anybody in the league so far. I think you would have figured it out by now. His name is Clint Steindl. This man needs more shots Simple as that. Now, Josh Majetti's got the ball a lot. He's a ball-dominant guard, makes a lot of good things happen. But today's game was an example. You know, he had 2 assists, and you got Clint shooting 50% from 3. Also, I would like to see McIntosh. Why not put him in the starting lineup? I mean, why not? It's kind of similar to what United did with Caleb Agata. Let's roll the dice and really find out what McIntosh can give you.
Yeah, for sure. Majet and Adams having pretty good games as well. 14 points for Majet, 23 for Adams, but of course going down with a knee injury as well, which doesn't help the cause. On the Melbourne side of things, they're 4-2 now. They've been pretty good since that slow start to the season, but do you think we've seen everything that they've got to offer? Do you think that they are the real deal again?
Look, I think it's too early to tell now, Kath, if they are the real deal. But it's exciting that Goulding's back in the lineup and, you know, he's doing his thing, obviously hitting crazy milestones that we've seen and we're going to touch on later. But I don't think we've seen everything that Melbourne has to offer yet. So there's a lot of kinks to work out there. I feel like the ball gets very sticky at times, and we just need to see these guys kind of build more chemistry as games go on.
Yeah, totally. Well, the Goulding effect, as you say, that seems to have done quite a bit in terms of their turnaround from that slow start to the season. You mentioned the milestones. I'm going to have to read them. I don't want to get them wrong. 881 threes now after coming in today on 877. So he's in the top 15 in the NBL for 3 points scored. And then, of course, for the club as well, 600, well, the first player for United to make 600 triples. So pretty incredible stuff.
He's doing it at a rate of knots as well. There was a great tweet from NBL Facts during the week. He's getting up 12 per game, which would be an NBL record. That's going to come back a little bit today. He was 4 for 7 from 3, but that would beat Shane Hill. It was put up 11.6 per game in 1994. By the way, Shane Hill was getting up 11.6 threes in 1994. What a madman. And Andrew Gaze was putting up 11.4 in 99 and playing 47 minutes a game, which is just absolutely outrageous. But Goulding, still for me, possibly the most entertaining player in the league to watch when he's firing away. We saw him go for the dagger of all daggers from nearly half court in the fourth quarter. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Chris is a pathological scorer. I want to talk more pathological scores a little bit later, but Chris, that's what he does. I mean, there's never a moment in the game when he might not give you a dagger shot. He just got that belief in himself, and he's made that many shots over the journey. And he's doing it in 40-minute games, not like Gaze and Hill was. So it's even a bigger milestone, in my opinion.
Yeah, the volatility of him is something to behold. Now, last night, the Wildcats, Taipans. Taipans pretty undemand. Machado, McCall both out. Pushed the Wildcats, but the Wildcats, the kind of form they're in this season, you've got to do a bit more than that, than what it did last night.
Exactly right. I mean, we know who they are. We know what Perth does, you know what I mean? Even with the lead that they gave up so early, it was looking a little scary for them. But with people like Bryce Cotton, big fella Vic Law, you know what I mean? They're so consistent, and they understand they've been through it with these veteran players. They know how to win games. They know how to sustain and come along into games. They're not really stressed when they, you know, might have a blowout at the start of a game or not. So
yeah, I suppose on the other side of things, though, there was a bit to take out of it for the Taipans, closing within that with the lack of personnel and still, you know, coming close but not quite getting the chocolates. We've got to talk about Bull Qual as well, because he was pretty outstanding. 13 points, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Pretty great stuff from him last night.
Allow me.
The biggest Cairns Taipans fan in Australia, by the way. We can't get him out of Orange.
This Orange is Oregon State. But Bull Qual. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with the Game of Thrones.
No.
Anyway, top 3 series of all time.
Who says?
I say, Bull, you keep this up, man, and you're about to be Bull Qual Drago, leader of the Dothrakis. Anyway, rookie dude, he's coming in. He took on the challenge of guarding Bryce. Very first play of the game, walked right up on Bryce and let him know this is not going to be an easy night for you. He's playing out of position, 6'6". He shoots the 3 well. He defends multiple positions. He's active. He's energetic. This guy's future is really, really bright. I'm a huge fan. I'm in 2 fan clubs. I'm in Bawali Baylor's fan club and the Bull Qual fan club.
Now, you mentioned Cotton there as well. We're going to give you the floor again because we've brought the Hooyah up in the rundown today for this point. Bryce Cotton, he's your man today.
I mean, what can you say? Bryce comes out 0 points in the first quarter. Maybe because Qual Drogo was guarding. Who knows? But he was never going to relax because Bryce is a pathological scorer. And what I mean that with the greatest compliment. There's never a time that he can't score. You can't relax for a second. Even if you got him down for 10 minutes, he'll just go like that, bang, 19 points in the second quarter. So, Bryce, you're doing what you always do, man, and you just keep it going with your pathologicalness. So, big fella, Hoo-yah!
I suppose that's it's a little early in the show. You might have another couple of goes. If we give the ball back, we might confiscate it. I suppose that's it, isn't it? When you have a slow start like that, what it can do for a team being able to work yourself into the game and lift your players with you as you go.
Yeah, poor old Adam Ford was pulling his hair out on the sidelines because unfortunately, and it's not easy, and we already mentioned they didn't have Tajir McCall and Scott Machado as well, so 2 veteran players in the lineup that they expect a lot from, but there was just a couple of breakdowns. They went underneath a couple of screens. There was a backdoor cut where the help just wasn't quite there. Unfortunately, Fordy was losing his mind, but that's all Cotton needs. And he went from scoreless to all of a sudden knocking down those few quick buckets, and by that point, it was too late.
Yeah, absolutely. Poor Adam Fordy's got a few headaches, but after last night, perhaps a little bit of solace to take from it. We do need to go to a break. When we return, a lot of movement in the NBA. COVID impacted, what it means for NBL players or former NBL players for that matter, coming up after this. Yeah, Josh Giddey doing his thing for OKC the other night. An incredible double-double, really. The second smallest double-double in NBA history. 10 assists, 10 rebounds. He's a very talented man. Very many strings to his bow.
The stats don't ban liar, as I like to say. That was the other player that had a scoreless double-double for those wondering at home there. Yeah, unfortunately for him, he's been in great form. He just collected his Rookie of the Month for the Western Conference October-November award just a couple of days ago. So he has been really rolling until the unfortunate news, as we're about to get to here, with COVID running rife through the NBA. He was one of the victims.
Yeah, well, one of 6 players now for OKC under protocols. He's likely to miss 3 games. It is unfortunate. I mean, he's obviously able to continue on that form, you'd say, when he comes back, but he would like to have just keep that momentum going, you'd think.
Well, exactly, especially after a game like that we just saw, you know. I mean, especially as a young player, getting games like that builds your confidence like anything. So now being hit with this, you know, this COVID sting, obviously it's unfortunate what's going on around the world and within the league and our league here in the NBL, but yeah, I mean, he'll be back, and I'm sure he'll be running off that confidence from the last game.
Yeah, I suppose the way the NBA is going, he might have just been sitting there waiting. When's it going to happen? When are we going to get the tap on the shoulder?
Yeah, it's like everybody's a ticking time bomb over there, so anybody can get it at any given time and just roll the dice and hope it doesn't happen to you.
Absolutely. Now, I suppose some positives for some ex-NBL players to come out of that. Kane, you kind of intimated the other week what it would mean for players around the world, not just in the NBL, but specifically this week in the NBL, ex-players, Scotty Hobson's going to OKC on a 10-day contract. Cam Oliver from he's going to the Atlanta Hawks, and then Kiefer Sykes as well, an ongoing contract as well. So good news for them. What do we make of those signings?
Well, no one's happier than Damon. Former Cairns Taipan Cam Oliver went to Atlanta, and he was actually 6 for 6 in his first game as well. So he contributed. He had some good moments in the NBA last year with Houston as well. So for the most part, at the moment, they're taking guys from the G League, guys that are already in America, just in terms of timing. And a lot of the times they're desperate to get someone that can come in and play straight away. So that's what we've seen. It's great for those guys, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got guys like Justinian Jessup, Vic Law, Chason Randall, who's already been in the G League system over there. So if anybody's going to get a call up, it'd probably be guys that's already affiliated with their system. And I'm sure those guys would jump at it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's it. There's so many in the system here. You mentioned on Law, Bryce Cotton as well. Even Delhi, if he got the call up, he'd probably jump at it, you'd think. What do you think?
Kath, I know I would. That's for sure if I was in that position. But obviously with Delhi, it's a different circumstance. You know, he's been there, he had his career. He did his thing over there, and now he's found his way and he's found his spot at United. So I'm not sure if he'd be too easily swayed to going back or not. But definitely guys like Bryce and stuff, I think they should jump at it if they get the opportunity.
Yeah. What about a couple of others throughout the league? You've touched on a few. What do you think? Do you think it's a widely hot ticket that would go if the call came?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, just logistically, it's really difficult. If you're talking about a 10-day hardship contract, you spend 3 days travelling, you go through your testing, your protocol, all those types of things, and then that sort of period's already done. The NBA has also just recently reduced the quarantine period to 6 to 7 days if you test positive. So I just can't see NBA teams going to players in Australia and asking them to come over. But we saw with Kiefer Sykes, he's got a deal through the rest of the season. There could be a situation where some of these guys that are playing really well in the league get contracts that extend beyond just the COVID protocol. That would make a little bit more sense to me.
I'm hoping it doesn't go too far the other way. So a guy like Kiefer Sykes, who went to the G League, and that's where he got picked up from with the Pacers. So I don't want guys to start thinking, well, let's just leave the NBL alone. Let's just play G League and wait for the COVID bomb to hit so I can get a call up. So it's probably a long shot. The guys might not go from here to there. But you just have to wait and see.
Yeah, you got to play your cards right, especially in these times. Now, there was a bit of I think it might have been a bit tongue-in-cheek from Jerome Randall during the week. I'll let you guys decide. The former 36ers star, of course, he tweeted asking whether or not the NBL was giving away 10-day contracts. He's playing in Ukraine at the moment. What did you make of Randall's comments during the week?
I think it's quite funny, to be honest. And I like where he's going with it. But yeah, if the NBL starts giving out 10-day contracts, I mean, it's looking a little rough. I think at that point, I think we're in trouble. I really like Jerome. I liked him in the league. I thought he was a great guard. But there's a lot of great guards in the league at the moment. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, watch this space on that one. I don't think there'll be too much movement, you'd think. Now, we do need to go to another break. It is a new year, and of course, New Year's resolutions rife at the moment. The boys are going to give their thoughts on all the clubs in the NBL and what they should be doing in the new year next.
never seen a specimen like this before. So.
What is going on here?
It's like Steph Curry, bro. I've never played with something like that before. Catch and shoot, make it 7. I'm just shocked. Like, it's amazing.
It's Jackie Dover, first NBL game.
First Indigenous referee, and that's incredible, you know.
Are you kidding me, Jack? There's only one. They've been the benchmark all season long, and they are the NBL21 champions.
We have so many guys that went through so much this year. The city of Melbourne went through so much this year.
This is the moment that we've all waited for, and this is the reason that we've sacrificed all year. Enjoy it, boys. I love you all. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Melbourne.
There you go, some of the highlights we enjoyed from NBL 2021. NBL 22 already living up to the billing that was set from that. You'd say plenty of highlights already playing out and to come. Now, we need to look at what is going to transpire for these teams, or what we think will transpire. We're going to start with Melbourne United. Marley, the floor is yours.
Look, and I'll keep it brief. I think we saw it tonight, right? You've got guys like Goulding that are coming in, and with much anticipation, obviously. Everyone was waiting for him to get in. I feel like when he gets in the game and he's coming off screens, coming off handballs, the ball can get very sticky and in his hands, and people start to watch and get complacent, in the fact that Goulding's going to make a play. And you definitely, going into the new year for United, no, this isn't the same United team we saw won the chip last year. But I think they can get to that and build up to that level, especially with the Garter too. So I think they need to stay aggressive, stay moving, and not just ball watch, especially with Goulding and what he's doing, to his credit, and stay aggressive so that it can free him up and open him up.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, the piece is already there and seemingly starting to click. Now, Kane, the Kings, they're yours.
Good health. This one was one of the easiest to look at. They're just going to get healthy. They're one of the teams that I thought was going to make the grand final. I really love the roster. So Jalen Adams, RJ Hunter. I just can't personally take too much from what we've seen from them without Jalen Adams on the floor, without their initiator. So for Sydney, they just want to get healthy. Chase Buford, he's just like, I've come out to Australia. Is there any danger of me having my point guard on the floor?
We'll have to wait and see. Now, crosstown rivals, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Damon, they're yours.
They've already did great things by the 1.4 billion new mates they have in China with the way they're playing Joe Cheek. Now what they need to do is just get that second import. And guess whose job it is? It's yours, Tommy Greer. Tommy Greer, you got to go find another guy, another complimentary import that can fit in. Like, it's chemistry-wise. They're going to need more depth because they're going to be there in the end. Yeah. You only one injury away, knock on wood, but you know what I mean? Any kind of adversity that comes along in the finals, you're going to need that extra guy. So they need to get another import, I reckon.
Yeah, you've somehow managed to slip a bit of a harden up in there as well. Very on brand for you. Just subtle. Now, a very easy one for you, Marley. The Wildcats, they're already doing a lot of good things.
Come on, what do they need to change in the new year? You know what I mean? What do these guys need to change? They came out, obviously, against Cairns and had a rough start. So this is all I'll say for Perth. Is you got to understand that every single team that's coming in is going to come in with their best team, with their best guys, looking to really come at you hard, as we saw in Cairns. So you just need to be prepared for that, which they are. They got veteran guys there, guys that have been there before, guys like Bryce Cotton. They're the best of the best in this league, so they understand this is coming, they anticipate it, and they just got to be ready for that for the new year to keep on doing what they're doing.
Yeah, doing a lot of things right at the moment. Now, Kane, you have the JackJumpers, who we just saw today. What did you make of that and to come?
Well, I'll jump in and say Perth want the border rules to change as well so they can get home, because it looks like they're going to be on the road for a while. But as far as Tasmania goes, add some size I've got here. Look, they knew coming in they were probably the smallest team in the league. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for Will Magnay. Just to this point, he came in, he had an injury-interrupted off-season. One guy that I'm saying, Tasmania, go get Thon Maker. This guy, there's a lot of talk about the NBL. If I'm Tasmania, I don't know if that's something that the Maker camp wants to entertain, but I'm going to get Thon. That would be my New Year's resolution, add some size.
Yeah. Now, the Hawks for you, Damon?
My old team, all they need to do is just work out the offensive chemistry. The firepower is just loaded at every position. I think they just need to work out Tyler Harvey, who's also borderline pathological scorer, just to be able to work it out, because you got so much talent to deal with. So right now he's averaging 2 assists a game, and he's got firepower. So I just think they just need to work out the kinks, who can get the ball at when, who's ready to sit in the back seat at times. So that's just going to come with more games.
Yeah. Beauty. Now we're off to Brisbane. You got the Bullets.
Yeah, look, and I like these guys. I really like Sobey. I think when they're at their best and what they need to do in the new year is just stay and trust the process in their offense. They need to stay downhill, especially with Sobey and Kadee. I think when they're working with the big fella Harris, I mean, he's like 7 foot, you know what I mean? Like, work with this guy and get guys involved and stick with it. I think just like United, the ball can get very sticky, especially with scorers, you know, like Sobey. Obviously, Frank's doing what he's doing. Lamar, there's guys that can make plays one-on-one, and the ball can get very sticky. So I think staying downhill for them in the new year is the best option for them.
Yeah. Now, Kane, an interesting one, the 36ers. What do you think?
New year, new effort levels for the Adelaide 36ers. And the good thing is they admitted it themselves. They've had some real problems with their effort. They haven't been getting back in transition D. It's been tough to watch at times and disappointing, honestly. This is a really talented roster. So Adelaide, better effort. Just better effort in the new year.
Yeah. And the Taipans for you, Damon?
Yep, my orange mates. Health. You got to get healthy imports on the floor. Mr. McCall, we missed you the other day, yesterday. Got to get Scott back playing. And they have to just continue to buy into the system. Adam Ford is going there to change the culture, and I think they're trending in the right direction. Majuk Ding is having a career year. So I just think they need to get healthy and just stay the course.
Yep, Beauty. And to round us out quickly, the Breakers.
The poor Breakers.
Yeah.
They've gone through it, you know what I mean? And I think on paper, they have a good team. They have a really good team. Obviously, that hasn't been reflected in their 0-6 record at the moment. But I think moving on into the new year, I don't know about you guys, but they need to finish off second halves. Yeah. You know, they're always in the ball game. They fight, just like Tassie, like we were talking about before. They really do fight hard, but they need to finish out second halves, and they need to throw the first punch coming into games as well. So I think they've still got some things to work out, but they got some guys to do some things, and I look forward to seeing what they're going to do in this next round.
Yeah, absolutely. Only up from here. All right, Marley Bandolo, Kane Pittman, Damon Lowry, thank you so much for joining us again today. We are off now. The NBL does return on Friday, though, with the 36ers and the Wildcats. Until then, enjoy your week.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Amy.
All over me.
Alright guys, we all got the stage finally. Sorry about that, guys. Dane, probably relieved to come away with the win. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. You know, obviously we turned the ball over a lot, and you know, that was a big part of you know, their physicality, their defense, intensity. And you know, just their desire. You know, they played a tough defensive brand of basketball that I really enjoyed going against, and it's going to make us a lot better. You know, we knew with Magne not being in there today that we were either going to see a lot of switching or we were going to see a lot of aggressive coverage. And you know, the aggressive coverage was good for them, and you know, stalled us from being able to move the basketball. We wanted to move it, but yeah, you know, we found a way. And, you know, thought obviously defensively holding them to 72 is pleasing. You know, Josh Adams made some, you know, really tough shots, and, you know, first time going against, you know, Sammy McDaniels, who was a championship player with us as well. And, yeah, but pleased to walk out of this place with a win.
Pretty dominant fourth quarter as well. Obviously, you came to three-quarter time still down, but, you know, you held them to, I think it was 3 points for the first 8 minutes of the fourth quarter, which was pretty important.
Yeah, it was. I thought our communication as the game went along on screening situations really improved. We made them take tough contested shots. We obviously fouled a couple of times, in the fourth quarter. That was an emphasis from the referees before the game in making sure that people can land. So we've got to improve in that area. But, yeah, holding the team to 7 points in the fourth quarter certainly helps.
Without Magnay there for them, obviously you had a bit of an advantage inside. Were you happy with the way you took advantage of that with Joe and Ariel?
Yeah, and then, they both had solid games. We thought if we shifted the basketball the way we wanted to shift it, and that we probably could have got them a few easy looks as well, a couple extra ones. But again, there's a couple that they missed on good entry passes as well. So we can improve in that area.
Chris, what was it like for you coming back to Tasmania and play a game here on New Year's Day back in the old stomping ground?
Yeah, it's cool. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Tassie getting a team's been a long time coming in my mind. So, I've definitely penciled in the first time we were coming down here, and I wanted to experience the updated stadium, the sold-out crowd, and to come away with a win was cool. It was looking a little dicey there at times, and, that's a credit to them and how they've built this team and how they're playing, even with key guys out. They play hard. They play a tough brand of basketball that's going to keep them in games. So overall, really pleased to come out of here with a win, and really happy to be doing a press conference down here in Tassie after an NBL game. That's awesome.
And like you said, they make themselves tough to beat, just the style that they play. And you found yourselves 10 points down in the second quarter. Does that make it a nice feeling now that you did overcome a fair bit to get this win?
Yeah, I mean that was early in the game, and we weren't doing the things that we needed to do, and they took advantage of that early on. So we knew once we kind of rectified that, we could chip away at it, and we got a group of guys on the floor there. A lot of guys that started on the bench came in and provided us with that real energetic punch and solid defense, get out and transition, and was able to drag that back right before halftime. So that's pleasing that we could get an impact like that from our second unit.
You've strung a few wins together now. It looks like you're building some good chemistry. Are you pretty happy with the way things are coming together at the moment, Chris?
Happy that we've won some games in a row, and we've gotten out of that 0-2 start. And I keep saying this, like we can be so much better in so many areas, but the main thing is it's important to keep ticking over wins while you're building something. And early on we were saying, look, we're getting better, we're close, we're good in these areas, but we were losing. So to be able to still build on those things, and we have really open and honest videos after our wins and losses, and I'm looking forward to this one because there's going to be a lot of things that we didn't really do well, and it's going to be good for us all to see that, and then to come out of tonight with a win after not performing to the best of our ability is a sign of a decent team.
And Dean, assuming things all go to plan, you'll be playing next in Wollongong next Sunday. What do you look to work on between now and then?
Yeah, we had a good hit out against them in pre-season. Super talented team, got a lot of weapons, and I think Duop Reith, stretched us out and made some tough shots against us last time. We guarded their shooters pretty well, but this year they're a different team. They've got more people that can step up. So, the focus has still got to be how we guard, the three-point line and transition, and but then again they've added post-game and certainly some other guys that can put their feet in the paint and make good decisions. So, we look forward to that challenge. They're a really quality team.
Thanks, guys. That's all from me.
Hi, Chris. It's Max Becker here from the Sporting Max podcast.
3 minutes into that second quarter of the game, Dean called a timeout, requesting and sort of demanding to crash the offensive boards more, to up the ante and the pressure. What shift in mentality or mindset was made for you, for the guys on court, and I guess for you as a captain to come back and take the game and the bull by the horns?
Yeah, I thought there was some distinct moments where they outworked us on the glass, and that's not who we want to be as a team. And 11-0 boards, just looking at it now, it doesn't seem like a monumental number, but they were at times where we felt we did a good job defensively, or we kind of could have got out of a possession, we turn it over and they miss, and we dodge a bullet there, but then we give up an offensive rebound and it hurts. So we had guys contribute massively. Ariel was great on the glass. Jack White's a handful on the glass. Newley was cracking back, getting his hands on some balls that, the starters and that weren't when we were giving up 0 boards. So as I said before, that contribution from that second unit that came in and really sparked us, they